Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a pretty massive regulatory gap in the skincare industry. If you live in the United States, you're more than likely using UV filters in your daily sunscreen that, honestly, haven't seen an update since the 1990s. So we're going to decode the chemistry behind your INCI lists, figure out why European formulations have such a distinct chemical advantage, and really determine if your current SPF is giving you optimal protection. Here's our agenda for today's professional deep dive. 1. The shocking ingredient gap. 2. FDA versus EU regulations. 3. Decoding the chemical filters. 4. Texture, cast, and pilling. And 5. The final verdict. Let's get right into Section 1, the shocking ingredient gap, outdated formulations in everyday SPF. The 1990s. Yeah, if you're buying sunscreen in the US today, you're likely relying on chemical UV filters that were last approved in this decade. Despite massive leaps in cosmetic chemistry since then, American consumers are essentially stuck in a time capsule when it comes to UV protection. The current landscape looks exactly like this. American formulators are restricted to a super limited toolkit of just 16 older UV filters. Meanwhile, European Union chemists have access to nearly 30 next-generation UV filters. That means US chemists are operating with roughly half the resources of their European counterparts, so you are missing out on literally decades of chemical innovation. Moving on to Section 2, FDA versus EU regulations, the root cause of the ingredient divide. So, the root of this massive disparity really comes down to legal classification. In the United States, the FDA actually treats sunscreen as an over-the-counter drug, and that means the approval process for any modern ingredient is massive, highly expensive, incredibly slow, which essentially stalls innovation. But the European Union classifies sunscreen as a cosmetic. This creates a beautifully streamlined, accessible approval process that actively encourages the continuous development of safer and better UV filters. Section 3. Decoding the chemical filters. Molecular stability and skin protection. Before we start comparing specific ingredients, we absolutely have to understand photostability. This is simply the ability of a molecule to remain structurally intact and effective when exposed to sunlight without degrading. It's the ultimate test of a sunscreen's chemical reliability. Because think about it, if your filter isn't photostable, it's literally falling apart exactly when you need it most, when you're standing right out in the sun. If you check your standard American chemical sunscreen label right now, you will almost certainly see an ingredient called Avobenzone. It's the standard US filter for UVA protection, but there is a glaring scientific problem here. It is notoriously photo-unstable. At the molecular level, it actually degrades in sunlight, so the very UV rays it's supposed to protect you from are causing the chemical bonds to break down. When we compare this head-to-head, the difference is night and day. On the US side, we've got Avobenzone, which is photo-unstable and made of smaller molecules. But modern European formulas utilize next-generation filters, like Tinosorb S and Uvinul A+. These modern molecules are significantly superior because they are highly photostable, they maintain their vital structure and their protective power even under relentless direct UV rays. And beyond just being highly photostable, U molecules are superior because of their physical size. They have a much larger molecular structure. Now, this is a total game changer because it physically prevents the chemicals from penetrating the skin barrier. Because they sit safely right on top of the skin rather than absorbing deep into it, they're significantly less irritating, which makes them an incredibly safe and evidence-based choice. Section 4. Texture, cast, and pilling. The physical reality of application. Because US formulators completely lack access to those advanced next-generation chemical filters we just analyzed, they have to overcompensate. To achieve broad-spectrum protection without European chemicals, US brands lean heavily on high concentrations of physical blockers, specifically zinc oxide, and this creates what's known as the zinc oxide problem, resulting in those thick, clumpy, heavy creams we all know. If your daily sunscreen frustrates you, this over-reliance on zinc oxide is exactly why. The side effects include that heavy, thick feeling on the skin, a really noticeable and stubborn white cast, and of course, that dreadful pilling where the product rolls up into little balls under your makeup or skincare. This physical blocker dependency is the actual chemical cause of that daily frustration. In stark contrast, just listen to this quote. EU brands can use a blend of elegant, lightweight chemical filters that feel exactly like a hydrating serum. Because European chemists have access to that expanded toolkit of 30 advanced filters, they don't have to rely on thick zinc pastes. They can blend modern filters to create elegant, evidence-based formulas like La Roche-Posay's UVMune 400 that absorb beautifully and feel virtually invisible. Section 5. The final verdict. Upgrading your daily routine. So, why should you seriously consider making the switch to a European formula? Well, if you hate the feeling of traditional US mineral options like Clinique SPF 50, for example, upgrading could completely revolutionize your relationship with sun protection. It's absolutely perfect for highly sensitive skin because those larger molecules don't penetrate your skin barrier. It completely eliminates that heavy, greasy SPF feel, provides advanced, highly stable UVA defense that won't degrade in the sun, and, crucially for anyone who wears cosmetics, it absolutely prevents makeup pilling. I want to leave you with this final, provocative question. Did you know about this ingredient gap before today? I highly encourage you to go check your own bathroom cabinet right now. Look at the INCI list on the back of your bottle and let us know. Did you have any idea your skin was missing out on over 30 years of chemical innovation? Take this knowledge, upgrade your routine, and stay curious.